Hi, everyone. Welcome back to your watch and work for Module 15. This is going to be all about health issues and related issues you might run into with adolescents. What we're going to do is we're going to read through the scenarios. We're going to determine if there is an issue that needs to be addressed and what it is. Once we determine what the issue is, if there is one, we're going to think through how you might support this person if you were a peer, a parent, and a teacher. Unfortunately for this, there's not going to be an exact right answer. There's going to be ideas of answers, and there's going to be variations of that, right? So, what I want you to know going into this is just making sure that we're going in with the frame of mind that we're trying to help and support. And if you come up with something that I don't say or something that maybe you think you're not sure about, I encourage you to share that because it is a community that we're trying to learn from each other. All right, with that, let's go ahead and jump in and look at our first adolescent. This is Jack. Jack is the captain of the football team. He's currently being recruited by multiple schools to play at the college level. It seems all the girls want to date him. He often brags about dating half of the cheerleading team. He has recently started to talk in the locker room about how he is able to take whatever he wants from girls and move on to the next. So, are there health concerns for Jack? And if so, what are they? Jack is sexually active, right? I think that's pretty clear that he's probably sexually active. And that is an issue because we want to make sure that he avoids teen pregnancy, STIs. There's also maybe some emotional pieces we should be addressing with Jack as well around gender stereotypes and being respectful, but we're not focusing on those in this moment in this watch and work. We're focusing on health concerns for Jack. So, thinking about sexual activity as a peer to Jack, what could you do to help? Okay, so maybe talking with Jack about the risks he's taking, maybe sharing contraception if you need to, encouraging him to go talk to a school counselor. Those are all ideas I can think of. I look forward to hearing from you around your ideas. As a parent, what could you do to help? So, as Jack parent, if we go back to thinking about what we learned in the module, we want to make sure that we have open communication with him. We're using our authoritative parenting style so he feels supported, but we also are setting high expectations. Obviously, there's parenting issues around Jack and his interaction with women and girls that we want to address, but thinking just specifically with his health as a parent, we're going to make sure we have that open communication. We're not going to do a one and done conversation. Sexual activity is going to keep coming up. We're going to ask questions that are open ended. We're going to make sure he feels supported. And we're going to make sure we're encouraging him to use contraception if that's something as a family that we're supporting. And then, also noting that if you are a family that doesn't believe in being sexually active before married, going from that non-judgmental piece, right? We want to make sure that children feel supported, even if we don't always agree with their decisions. So working through that. And again, you're welcome to put other things in the discussion and share with me your thoughts. There's not always going to be an exact right or wrong, but this is what the research does tell us. All right. And as a teacher, what could you do to help? Again, going back to that education piece, making sure that Jack is educated. There might be a school nurse that Jack might be able to talk to, or at least access some resources, making sure Jack is fully educated. If you think of other things, please feel free to share. I would love to hear them. All right, Kayla. This is Kayla. She works hard to get good grades. She's currently at the top of her class. She needs a scholarship because she comes from a one-parent household. In addition to school, Kayla works part-time at a local cafe and helps babysit her little sister. She's recently started to take caffeine drinks to stay awake and smoke weed to relax. So, are there health concerns? If so, what are they? Kayla seems like she might be at least an occasional user of substances, if not becoming kind of an abuser of substances. That's definitely a concerning area for me. As a peer, what could you do to help? I think being supportive, maybe even talking with Kayla, maybe even if you're really worried about her, talking with somebody who can support her better, such as her parents or a school counselor. Those pieces might be important. I'm curious to hear your ideas as well, but making sure Kayla feels supported and understands that she can do these things without being an abuser. Another idea might be just helping Kayla out, right? Helping her babysit. But if you've come up with ideas, I would love to hear them. As a parent, what could you do to help? I think for me as a parent, always going back to that piece of having open communication, but we're also thinking about parenting practices, right? So for Kayla, she's obviously very high achieving, which means there's been high expectations set for her, which can be a great thing. But making sure she's supported and understands that it's not a right or wrong. You don't always have to succeed at this level and you can be supported. Also looking at possibilities around babysitting and making sure she feels like she can take a break, and helping her learn how to de-stress without engaging in substances, right? So that piece around understanding how to deal with stress that doesn't lead to engaging in a substance. And as a teacher, what could you do to help? Okay. So, depending on the issue, you might want to refer her to a school counselor or some mental health. You also want to make sure that you're helping to teach with her stress and understanding how to manage stress productively. But again, as always, I'd love to hear your ideas. Please feel free to share. Better. Okay, and our last one is Jesus. This is Jesus. Jesus has recently come out to his parents as gay. While they are not completely accepting, they have attempted to be supportive. He does not enjoy high school. At school, he is one friend. They often talk about how great it will be in college. Zeus has expressed his excitement for college, but apprehension that he may not be good looking enough for anyone in college. Recently, Jesus has stopped eating lunch. At home, his parents have noted that Jesus takes the food to his room to eat. So, are there any health concerns? If so, what? I know that we talk a little bit about sexual orientation in this scenario, but real health concern is around eating disorders for Jesus and the fact that he may be anorexic and not eating at all. So, as a peer, what could you do? You think about being supportive, making sure that Jesus is getting the help he needs. Sometimes the best thing you can do as a friend or as a peer is making sure that Jesus gets the support and help he needs, even if it's professional help. It might be telling someone to get him help. As a parent, what could you do? Again, looking for outside help if you need to, making sure you're having open communication with Jesus, making sure that he has the ability to come talk to you if something is happening, as well as if you see an issue, looking for outside help. And as a teacher, what could you do to help? Making sure Jesus feels so supported in school, he feels welcome, he feels, building his self-esteem, understanding who he is, but also making sure that parents are aware of the circumstances, making sure that he also is getting help at school if he needs it, and again, outside professional help as well. So really making sure Jesus is supported regardless of whether or not it's in school or outside of school. We want to make sure that he's getting the nutritional benefits he needs. All right. With that, module 15 is done. I will see you in module 16. All right.